Hey, good morning, everybody. So once again, Delaware finest, untold success stories. We are here at Mrs. Robino's, an establishment on this great, beautiful Union Street since 1940. 5 generations of a family business. All kinds of additions out front that they, through the years, acquired. And we are going to go inside. We are going to get the inside story of everything with the staff, the owners, the family. And we're very excited here to be here today. And once again, we want to show and also allow people to get an opportunity behind the scenes to show off their business, show off their awards, show off their family history, their traditions, and why this public loves to come to Little Italy and enjoy this great food, homemade Italian food. Homemade, great recipes that's been through the history of families and keeping a tradition together here on Little Italy section of Wilmington, Delaware. And we're very honored to be here. So I hope you like this show. Take note of this and make sure you come out and try this delicious food. This food is beyond belief. And everybody enjoys it, and it's made with love through many, many years of following the same recipes. So sit back and enjoy this nice podcast, and we are going to take a deep dive into Mrs. Robino's.
All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Mike Annone with AC Media, and we're back here on Union Street, this time at the legendary and historic Mrs. Robino's Italian restaurant. Today we got the wonderful owners, Andrea and Robin. Mrs. Robino's excited to dive deep into the history of this amazing restaurant, and glad to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. So let's dive into the history of Mrs. Robino's, how it started, who founded it, and I know there's a bunch of history, so let's start there.
Well, Mrs. Robino was my great-grandmom and Robin's grandmom, and she started in 1940 serving customers on Hallam Street. Not really customers, I should say, family members and friends that would come by and just have dinner. So someone convinced her to open up a restaurant, and she did so at the building that's next to us at 520 North Union in 1940, and she lived upstairs, and that's how it all started.
Wow. So you talk about the cooking and get into the business, and as a woman in that generation, was that very tough to break into and doing it? It's very like unheard of almost.
It was. I think that, she was a pioneer in 1940 to, everybody else was a homemaker and she was starting her own business, and it's just a success story. It's great.
Michael, that's a very, very great question you just asked. And like I said, in that era, there wasn't too many business ladies out there, women, to speak of. And once again, this fine food, this tradition was started by someone who was a pioneer in this neighborhood and carried on through all these years, starting in 1940 as the sign is out there on Mrs. Robino's. And we are in this fine establishment with those fine people, and we're going to get an opportunity to look at things on the wall, take a tour of all the additions, the improvements all through the years, and most important, we get a chance to talk about the history, 5 generations. And we got into the first generation a little bit, and let's talk about all your family. I'm here with Miss Robin, and we just talked about her father's Skunk nickname was good friends with my dad, Paul the Pope. And they were just great friends, and up and down Florida, Ocean City. It was awesome with the construction company, and we get into that a little bit. That was one of the biggest construction company going on, and your father was in charge of all the crews, from my memory.
No, it wasn't Uncle Frankie.
Oh, Uncle Frankie was in charge of the crews.
Yeah, he was a salesman. My father was a salesman.
Okay, your father was a salesman. Okay, very good.
Charlie was in there. It was all family owned.
All family owned.
Yeah.
And okay, so we got. Now let's talk about the generations and who is who in the family with the Minutis, the Robinos, and all that good stuff.
Okay. You want to say? You want me to say?
Go ahead.
Hey.
So when Mrs. Robino died, she left the restaurant to all of her children, but because her children, she had 2 boys, and then my grandmother, which is Josephine, or Pina, as her name was, and then she had more girls after that. My grandmother worked with her operating the restaurant side by side. So when she left the restaurant to all her kids, really my grandmother was the only person interested in purchasing the restaurant. So my dad and she purchased it together from the other family members, and that's how it became my family.
Oh, all right.
My grandmother, Josephine Pina Minuti, basically was the face of Mrs. Robino's for the, since from she bought the place in 1970, and then she died in 1996.
Okay.
Robin has worked here, 50 some years?
You're 52.
52 years. And
Wow.
she is
But raised here.
Yeah, she was basically raised in this restaurant. She and my grandmother worked side by side for so many years, and Robin's sort of taken the reins, and me as well, I guess you could say.
Wow.
She taught me, I'm teaching her. We're teaching the 5th.
Isn't
so
that amazing?
yeah.
So this is wonderful that it all went through the ladies of the family.
Yes, we're very proud of that.
Wow, that is, see that,
Can't
this,
tell myself.
this is awesome. And this is what we're looking at in our podcast. People that become successful, no matter anybody in America can become successful. And here we are right now. You put your mind to it, you put your passion to it, you put your skill sets to it, and you can accomplish anything. And then this is just a great segue into what we want to establish, part of our community that we want to help out with a known capital. So thank you for that, and all those stories going back with your dad. Now, you all lived in Cleveland Heights. Do you remember living in Cleveland Heights?
I don't.
No, you weren't. I don't think you were born yet.
No,
You were born at,
Brookmead,
no,
Heritage Park.
Heritage Park.
Heritage Park.
Yes.
Okay, so the beginning with my dad's friendship with Joe Minuti is just a wonderful friendship that they had. And I know we discussed when we first met, our history together. And I'll tell you what, I was racking my brain because we go back to pot nets. We go back, because like I said, Tony Fusco and Joe Minuti, they were household names. Trust me, they were household names. And we go back to the days of pot nets. And it was always awesome. And I remember, my dad leaving me and my friend Kat in the park and put your mom and dad in charge of us. And every time we did something, we weren't supposed to, because, the Pope left us with a C note, a $100 bill, and his blue Cadillac. I was 16, Kat was 15. And sure enough, we got into mischief, and your mom and dad was right there. Never said a word to my parents. Never realized that they were the
Those
greatest.
are real ones right there.
Oh my God, going out fishing on your pontoon boat and at the dock. It was just,
Days.
Those
were the days.
They were the days, man. Now, did you recall remember how we were talking about the park right around the country store there?
Yes.
The open field?
Yes, I remember it. I mean, I think I was like 6 or 7, and I would wake up in the morning and my mom would be out fishing, and there would be $3 on the table, and $1 would be for gas for my mini bike, $1 would be to spend at the store, and then $1 to do whatever I wanted to with. And it was just a lot of fun there.
Wow. Yeah, it was a great place to be able to get out there, and especially in Sussex County, beautiful county, state of Delaware, beautiful county. All right, so we talked about our family, your family history and everything, and the history. In your opinions, what do you think you bring from the staple of Mrs. Robino's name to Little Italy?
Well, I think it all started with the passion that my great-grandmom had, and she really instilled that on my grandmother. And whenever a customer would come here, it would be like family was coming to visit. She always treated her customers like family. And Robin, she's the face of Mrs. Robino's. People just love her. When they see her, everybody loves Robin. They love to, come in and tell her their stories, and she has the patience and listens to everybody's story and knows not so much everybody by name, but definitely by what they order and when they come in.
Right, exactly. But it's generation after generation after generation, and that's all about family. As the restaurant,
So
it's all about family.
Right.
Exactly.
Because nobody watches your business like you're going to.
Right, exactly. And that's a good point, because when you're in business, it takes that commitment, and you have to watch the operations, because that's your name.
Exactly.
That's your blood, sweat, and tears poured out. And for folks that watch this podcast and understand that, you know, what we're trying to educate the public with, and also other business leaders in whatever capacity you're in, when you see people, what they do and the history, it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come because you do something right away and you got like 1,000 likes. You have to work hard. You have to build that connection up. And you just said this thing right here, relationship. You know who comes in. You're welcoming. I could see it right now. That's why you're so successful, because of your welcoming personalities and the history that you are living daily, not put stuff up on a shelf, but you're bringing that to the people, and that's very, very special. Very, very special.
Exactly, and you talk about when you go out to go get a bite to eat, you go to Mrs. Robino, it's an experience. And you know, when I'm here, and it's just like you leave with a full stomach, but you also have like a smile on your face.
Right.
And I think that's what's so special about Mrs. Robino is like you're getting quality food, quality service, and you can't go wrong.
We try.
Yeah, because there's been several news articles through the history, pictures, magazines, and we're going to talk about all your awards here and things of that nature, and all your beautiful pictures and memorabilia. And I think we'll take this time. Is there anything else you'd like to share, talk about, or mention?
Well, one of the things I think is really cool about Mrs. Robino's, and I feel like everybody in Delaware knows about Mrs. Robino's, and you know, I've been all over the country, all over the world, and I'll meet somebody from Delaware or sometimes even Pennsylvania or Maryland, and I'll say, you know, have you heard of Mrs. Robino's? Oh my gosh, you know, I know so-and-so that's been there. Or, you know, I've been there 100 times. My dad was even in Italy one time. He was in the middle of a room, struck up a conversation with a guy, and he was from Maryland, and my dad said, well, I'm from Delaware. Have you heard of Mr. Robino's? And of course, yes, he had heard from him. It was just, you know, 1,000 miles away, whatever, and we're 4,000 miles away, and he had heard of our restaurant.
See, that's awesome.
It's incredible. A world staple.
Yeah.
Right here in Union Street in Little Italy.
I know.
It's very impressive.
It is.
It's insanely impressive.
And that's the traditions, and that's what we're talking about. Like, you know, you just don't get this. It takes years to build up to that level, and then once you reach that top, now how do we maintain everything? And you can see you keep everything intact. The nostalgia.
Say, some people put on the internet, you know, place needs to be remodeled, and then you'll have our own customers will answer these people that say, you know, the place needs to be remodeled. Don't change a thing. Keep it.
No, that's what makes it the best.
That's what makes it.
Exactly.
We were going to do all this, and they heard us talk, and they go, "Oh no, don't you touch a thing, no."
Right, exactly.
Some people come in and they go. I said it's about the food.
It's about the food, but the nostalgia. It just gives you the warm, and it gives you that warm feeling of all this. And once again, it's family.
Right.
See, that's it. It's a family connection. It's a dynamic. It's a business, but it's more than a business. It's the love you have for one another to carry this all through, and then keep it intact like this. Because guess what? It's going back in time, and we don't have that too much here in the state of Delaware. You go up to the Pennsylvania, up in the mountains and stuff like that. You can walk back 25, 30 years, and it's around you. Places like this, we need. We need.
Especially now.
During the pandemic, when Robin was here every day, I mean, we had customers just takeout orders. And Robin came up with the idea to take our food from here to Middletown, because we had a lot of people that lived in Wilmington and then they moved to Middletown. So on Mondays, we wrap everything up and take it down to Middletown. The customers are so thankful. And then also Robin started the beach run. So on Thursdays, we go from here to Rehoboth with stops at Smyrna, Dover, Milford, Milton, Lewis, and then Rehoboth.
Wow.
People, and every time we advertise that on Facebook, we'll get people that have moved to Florida. Please come to Florida. Please come to people that have moved to California. Please send your food. In fact, yesterday, someone contacted me and said, you have to start an online business. You have to ship your food around the country.
Yes, that's the next thing we have to investigate, because they said, somebody gets hot dogs from New York. He said, if I can get hot dogs from New York, you can send your food.
Right.
I said, I'll get rid of it.
Well, there you go. So if anyone in that line of business that's hearing these lovely ladies talk about their ambitions, this is where we can network and jump in and help each other out.
That would be great.
That's awesome. Okay, well let's we're gonna start with this room here and then walk into the other two additions. You get opportunity to talk about them. We'll look at the pictures and then we'll go into the main frame where it all started at the conclusion, and then we'll go into the kitchen and we'll talk about some all the homemade dishes and how things are prepared and everything. So we got a really good opportunity. Once again, thank you for opening up the doors to us and to the public for this special opportunity.
So this picture right here is a great picture to point out, is because this is Robin, the back of her head, and her father actually in the first building of the Robinos, and Mrs. Robino used to have all her family and friends come, and they would all sit and have a big family style meal for holidays or special occasions.
So this is the original restaurant?
Yeah, so if you were standing in that next dining room looking back towards the kitchen, this is the kitchen door here.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So when did you guys add on?
This is 69.
69.
69, that's right when my grandmother and dad took over, right? Yeah.
This was at 69, okay.
Well, the 60s, huh? Yeah.
60s, yeah.
All right,
Wow.
60s.
So the 60s.
And then we got,
Wow, everything was booming.
can we talk about some of these photos as well?
Sure. Oh, this is a good one for you to talk about, Robin.
Oh, this one is my father.
So we see this one right here.
Yes, we are in the back because we had company from Italy. So when he won, we had to let them take the picture, but we're here.
Right.
My dad's house.
Over there betting the horses.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Was that Brandywine Race?
That was Brandywine with the Sulkies.
Brandywine Racetrack.
Now
Wow.
Brandywine Town Center.
Yeah.
Yes,
True.
Right?
True.
Over the years, I see the how everything unfolds. That's that's very cool. That's awesome.
How about the picture behind you?
Yeah, what's this one right here? This looks very.
This is their 50th anniversary held at the Cavalier Country Club.
Cavaliers.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes, that was the proudest. If you could see just by my grandmother's, I mean, she is just the proudest. She was so proud to be there with her husband to have that. I mean, it was a gigantic party.
Wow.
You look at the smile on her face.
Yes, but I'm saying she was such a proud woman.
And I love all the corsages back
Oh,
there.
yes,
How
yes.
much they were.
I mean, she'd cook all day, and before her husband came, she went upstairs, got her apron, and yes, she did. I was amazed.
Right to work.
This picture
Unbelievable.
is a picture of my Uncle Frank and Aunt Marie. Robin, tell a little bit about why, when the Robino kids were allowed to get married.
Monday or a holiday. We were closed Thanksgiving. Yeah, and a lot of them got married that day. It's Thanksgiving or Monday when it was slow. I got married on a Friday.
On a Friday, right?
She was a rebel.
Special treatment.
Right.
See
So
that?
when was the honeymoon?
Family business.
Is there what?
It's never personal, it's all business.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow.
And then
Over here, so this is a picture of my parents' wedding. They were married for 63 years. My mom just passed. And this is Robin here.
Oh wow.
And my dad.
the bridesmaid. Oh, this is the whole family.
What a beautiful family.
That's okay.
Yeah, this is the whole family right
This
here.
the whole family
And
on
over
their
here
50th anniversary.
as well.
Oh, okay.
Say
Wow, in the
there.
beginning, yep, Mr. and Mrs. Rubino and the children.
Yes, that's all every child.
Wow. And always a major cake in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, man.
And this is my 6th birthday.
Right here. Let's get this right here, Melina.
Right, and that was Yolanda the cook, Yolanda Capriglione,
Oh, wow.
for years.
Yes.
And Christina.
How about
Yeah, 'cause she
that?
made the pasta by hand.
By hand.
And you see your arms?
Oh my goodness.
You see your arms?
Yeah.
Hers were like this. I used to watch her mix that dough. Jesus. All by hand.
Wow. So you needed the strength.
Right.
And let's see, when you were looking at this picture, the back, this lady here is Angie. She is the youngest of the Robino,
You're right. And,
and that's her wedding picture.
yes.
And she's still alive and was in
And back over here.
Oh, she was
Is she-
there.
dinner.
Yes.
93.
I think they've been married for over 70 years.
Wow.
70 years.
And when she
Anna.
comes in, we sit by the picture.
Yes.
Oh.
And then Lottie will say, this is, and she goes,
See, that's why
Wow.
nothing can change. Nothing can change.
No,
Nothing can
exactly.
change. Nothing.
Because when people come in and they just relive and they see these pictures and it just feels like it brings up the great times and great
Yes.
stories
Yes.
while they're enjoying a meal.
Yes, and then this is Pena's wedding picture,
My grandma.
Over here.
which is his mother.
Wow, look at this dress.
Yes, she was actually standing on a milk crate because she was shorter like me and Robin. So she
But we're feisty.
But her veil was so long that she was standing on a milk crate.
No kidding.
Indeed, indeed.
Wow.
Wow. And this picture right here, is this
That's
That's the same one.
Yes.
same one over here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's what. Yes, this is my grandmom and her wedding.
That's your grandma.
Yeah.
Grip.
Who was a Minuti.
Yes.
She was a Robino.
Well, she was
Rubino.
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 We're married to Minuti,
Yes.
and that's how my cousin Dolly
Yes.
Minuti, she was a Minuti that married Henry Calvetti.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
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 And they lived in Ellesmere.
And they lived in Ellesmere. Correct. Right. Because I learned her Minuti connection because I never knew that. When we were in Italy visiting my relatives, Sergio and Maria Trace, and then she talked about the Minuti family in Italy.
About that. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
So crazy.
Yep.
So this picture with Guy Fieri right here. So did he stop by?
He came by in July of 2019. Actually, he was here more February, but the show aired July of 2019. And we had a good old time with him. It was so much fun.
So you guys were on the show.
We were on the show.
Hey, how does the known capital compare to die?
Yeah, right. Were we getting there? Wow, that's
But
so.
Yeah,
Robin
he's
and
a
I,
big dog, man. He's the
we
best.
cooked with him, and it was really, really fun.
He's like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got energy. I love his energy
yeah.
level.
Yeah.
So much
man.
energy.
No.
He's awesome.
Well, Union Street went crazy because they pulled his car up and parked it across the street, and everybody started freaking out. But they moved it over here, I guess, or right up
Yeah,
front.
right up
But we
front.
had people like peering in the window, and because we were closed, we weren't allowed to announce that we
And
were
we never
closing.
close.
And we never
Right.
closed, so everybody wanted to know what was going on in here. But when they saw the car, they knew. They knew that he was
They
coming.
did right out. They called everybody and their mother, and they all came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is Andrea's wedding picture.
Oh, jeez.
Oh wow. Yeah. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Oh, and this
Right here.
And this is Mrs. Rubino's right up
Oh, yeah.
in 1946.
It's amazing.
And she was cooking. The funny story about that, all the equipment, comes with canisters and whatever, but when she had them, she took them off because she was so short.
Oh.
So over the years, when we bought new equipment, the guy said, could we please have the canisters on? Because I said, well, sure, you are a little taller than she was, because when you put them on, it was like this for her, but I just thought
But this picture is my grandmother.
In
And
action.
this just shows like this. She was the happiest here at Mrs. Robino's. This is the original bar, probably in like the early 40s. She was just happy. This was her place to be. When she wasn't
Yeah.
at home with my dad, she was here at the restaurant. And my poor dad said, everybody says, I've been going to Robino's for 60 years. He always says, not longer than I have, because she used to wheel him in a carriage here, and he'd sit in a playpen, while she was cooking or do whatever.
Wow.
Yep. Didn't leave the site.
No.
Beautiful.
Wow. That's amazing.
And we got some more photos back here.
Yeah, but these really aren't real family members, I guess. They're just.
No, that's just Uncle Primo.
Right.
Okay.
That's the first
No.
son.
Oh, it is. I didn't read that.
Yeah, it's Uncle Primo.
Wow.
Primo's one.
So what time frame would this be?
For my time.
We're going back.
Yes. And then this was Charlie's wedding picture. Because it was
Primo.
Frank. Yeah. It was Primo, which is son, and my father,
And then Uncle Frankie,
Uncle Frankie,
Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie, Pina, Mary, and okay. But that was their wedding
Who's the
picture.
youngster?
That's my dad.
That's Mr. Minuti.
That's true. We
Oh
keep it all
my
in the
gosh.
family.
Wow.
Look at Mr. Minuti. What a great man. What a great man.
We had a gentleman that was sitting over here the
other.
other day, and he said to me, "Do you know so and so?" And I said, "No, I don't." I said, "But Robin probably does." And he looked over at that picture and he said, "Oh my God, it's Mr. I forget the last person, DeSabatino," and he
Yeah.
was pointing to this gentleman right here. And I thought, I said, I think that's my grandfather.
It is your
I'm not gonna ruin
grandfather.
this man's little nostalgic party he was having. But this is my pup up here, and my dad's dad.
Gotcha.
Wow.
And again, that's Angie on the right. I mean, yeah, the right.
Yeah, that's my Aunt A right here. And
Look at
she's the
that.
only Rubino
Still
that's
alive.
still alive today.
The original.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, how old would she be?
She is.
She is.
She's there.
92 or 90. That's the one that comes in for dinner all the time.
That's who we
It's
just
the-
saw the wedding
Yeah.
picture of. Right, exactly. Okay.
Still comes
Smitty
in.
and Annone, yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Oh, poor Schmitty.
Wow.
And he still drives.
Yeah, he's, what, 96?
Still driving. Wow,
Okay, there's
man.
going to be a test on all this after this.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We're going to test all the viewers.
And if anybody gets everything right, you get a free dinner at Mrs. Rubino's on Annone Capital.
This story is funny because when Guy Fieri came, this is my brother, he wanted nothing to do with it, nothing. And so when Guy Fieri found out that he actually makes the raviolis, he put him on the spot and he said, "You're going to be the one making the ravioli with me today." And I thought my brother was going to have a nervous breakdown. But so he works with us here as well too.
Wow. Now we're going to go into.
Okay.
This was
The old
Yeah.
joint.
the old. Yes. Here we are.
We keep on moving.
Here we are.
Yeah, this was.
Now we're going through. It keeps on going back and back.
This is what I recall of this building right here was called Colonial AC.
Yes.
Colonial Athletic Commission. And there was a door here.
Yes.
And you walk in, and the card table was right in this area. And
Stair steps.
huh?
There were stair steps here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that went up to the.
Up or down? I know we took it out. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember from each building.
Yes, I think they were there because the TV was over here, I believe. Because we would come up here and mind you, I was still in grade school, coming up here watching Monday Night Football with my dad and all his friends. They played cards, and I'd go back to the kitchen because the kitchen was back there, and then I'd go back to St. Elizabeth's with pocket full of dollar bills in the milk line, buying everybody milk, the big shop, buying milk. And everybody thought it was unbelievable. They got extra milk.
Oh
That's when
my
it was
God.
10 cents from the farm.
I remember when they delivered milk here, and the cream was on the top.
Oh, really?
Wow, man.
Yeah, that was Delaware Dairy Milk.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had the social club here and then Mr. Robino's restaurant. And it seemed like it just was a coincided
And then they
too.
start buying up the properties for the expansion.
Right. And then
Yes.
when you guys were like, we had to expand, we got to get more property.
When they were out the door, I mean, you know, it was
Yeah.
for sale, and we were right there. But
When did they sell this? 1980? Was it 80 or 70?
it was 40, I want to say 42 years ago, because I got the air conditioner out of here from my house.
Okay.
And that's the only reason. That's how.
It was
And that's when
42
my
years
daughter was
ago.
born. You know what I mean? And it cooled my whole house. They had such a big air conditioner.
Oh, it was massive.
Oh yeah.
Took
and
that
they
right
were
away.
just sitting out area.
And it blew right in.
It kept it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in my old, back then we had Super 8 tapes, Kodak, and I would take some pictures in here, and I have them all. They had a big party. It was just like Goodfellas. They're out on the street, everybody talking and happy, and you come into the club, you ate, you drank. They had a liquor license. They had a legit liquor license. They applied for it, got everything, and then they did their card games and whatever activities all went on back in those days, and they had a lot of fun. I know one thing, I had a lot of fun and had money.
All right.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
One thing I'd like to point out, go ahead.
No, I was just remembering Coochie bowling.
Coochie,
Coochie's
Coochie, oh yes, Coochie bowling, yes, Coochie, yes, and
up and down the street, up and down the
and
street.
yes,
So in the early 80s when the Polaroid camera came out, everybody thought that was the coolest thing, that you could take a picture and have it pop out.
Right.
We came up with the idea to take a lot of our customers' pictures and say how long they've been coming to Mrs. Robino. So this room basically has a lot of the pictures that we've collected over the years and how long people have been customers.
how about
Wow,
that?
they're all over the walls.
Yeah.
Check out this,
So,
Melina. Let's check out some of these.
Really, really,
Mind you, these pictures were,
What a great
taken.
compliment.
So, it says on those pictures that they've been coming here for 25 years, but these pictures are probably 30 years old.
Right? You have 30, 55, 51 years, 50
And
years.
our customers love to come in and try to find their picture on the wall, and we switch it up so we move them around a lot, so people have a hard time finding them. It's like a treasure hunt for them.
Wow, that's so cool, man.
But they do come in luck. That's how we started. I've been eating here so long, and we did the board that says, how long have you been eating here? That board filled up within like 2 months. Take my picture, yeah.
Right.
All right, we'll go into the last edition.
Robino's house.
Robino.
Marino's house.
This is Robino's house. There's his living room, bedroom.
This.
This was
Wow.
So this is our fourth dining room. We use this a lot for parties, big parties. So we'll have on any given weekend parties, you know, families of 20, 30, 40 people come in and celebrate everything from births to funerals, you know, that they've been eating over the years here at Mrs. Robino's.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Look at this. Right, so this is like the banquet area almost.
We do use it for table service sometimes during the weekend or during the week, but a lot of people have a lot of memories, you know, of coming here, so that they, you know, always come and we accommodate them.
Right. I was gonna say, if you guys didn't fill out first.
Very, very nice.
Wow.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, the ambiance right here is just, I'm ready to dive into a chicken parm right now. You know me, man. I'm like, yo, I'm chopping at the bit.
Parm specialist guy.
Wow, this looks amazing.
As a matter of fact, the one we had this weekend, they had their wedding rehearsal here.
Oh, did they?
And we had their baby shower this weekend. She said, "You remember me?" And I said, "Oh, yeah."
Fantastic.
Right.
Well, we're going to go right now. We're all going to parade over to the original
Okie dokie.
Mrs. Robino's and take a look at that. And I think they have something very nice they want to show off, a new bar.
Yeah, let's check it out. This is the spot right here. 80 plus years,
take care of it.
Mr. Robino's Italian restaurant. The history, the tutelage, the people.
Okay.
I mean, everybody in the state and all over the world is coming over here to come into this restaurant and enjoy
she
and
went to the
experience with their
doctor's,
family and their loved ones. Very special.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is the original right here.
Yes, this is the original dining room.
Original panel.
And the original, oh wow.
I want to say the paneling because the picture of Mr. and Mrs. Robino has the same paneling.
Look at these names.
And I can touch anything in here except the paneling. It's the rule.
No.
I did take it down one time up there, but I haven't taken this fully down. But it's beautiful wood.
Yes, it is.
I mean, nice thick wood, but you don't see that today.
No. And that's the original and everything else into this one. When they walk in, they just relive the days and see.
There was one young girl came out, she said, "I feel like I was at my grandmother's." And I said, "We try to make it welcoming, you know what I mean?"
Right. Now, do people like seek out, hey, I want to get a table here in the original, or does it really matter?
There are a few. They don't want to sit over there. I've started here 40 years ago. Buddy O'Barra's the perfect example. He would come hungover, and he'd go back there. She says, "Sit down." And she'd bring him the pastina. Here's how many years your grandmother took care of me. You know, he just knew this was his hangover.
Right. He knows where he was going to hit.
He knew where to go.
Exactly.
He knew.
Yeah.
And
Right,
he tells me that story. We have his picture back there.
Right to Mrs. Robino's. Wow, you got the bar right here.
This is
Yes,
This
we can
looks
go
amazing.
behind come on, Ron, let's go behind the bar. This is our new bar we just
Wow.
installed. So now we offer seating at the bar. So we have some younger customers that come in and want to sit and have their spaghetti and watch football or whatever sport that's playing. But this is the newest addition to, you know, Mr. Robino's, this bar area.
Right. So when was this done?
We
The
basically like about 6 months ago.
Wow. So very
My
recently.
husband and I built the bar from scratch in our garage.
Wow. Look at that. You guys could do it all,
And
man.
you could tell that this building is so old because where Robin is right now,
the fall.
the whole building just goes
Slants.
down. So it
Yeah.
slants all the way down.
Yeah, it has that natural
It has that
slant.
natural slant to it.
Right.
Every building.
Yes, I guess in those days they wanted to make sure they got the fall right for water control.
That's the
I
only thing
guess.
I can think of.
Yeah, that's-
we
Mm-hmm.
did this, and I said to him, just as long as it is level. So I come down, and it's like, you have an elbow, then it's my chin right out here, because we're short. And he said, the bar is level.
The bar's level.
Right.
He said, it's your floor. And I go, okay.
Yes, that's exactly. They
Yes.
put a lot of fall in, and that always stuck in my
And I
mind
was
in
wondering
my back
why.
patio.
Oh, yeah.
That you would know.
Yes, yeah. That's what I would think it would be for. This is big time right there. Big time.
So, you know, back when I was a little girl, probably like in the early 70s, we had this lady that would have to sit and stir the sauce all day. So she was smaller than me, so she'd stay on her milk crates, and she would just stir sauce all day. But we bought a huge kettle now. So now we can make, you know, a ton of it. So we make it probably 4 or 5 times a week instead of every single day.
Right. So the sauce is always fresh. All the ingredients fresh right here behind the scenes. This is so cool. Look at this. Oh my God.
Get a stir. Get a stir.
Can I get a stir real quick?
Get a stir.
Here, hold this.
Yeah, get a stir.
Oh wow, I gotta get a stir. Look at this. Oh my God, man. Look at that. Look at that sauce and the meatballs, dude. Wow, man.
What foods, pastas, and everything that is homemade from scratch still?
We still make, well, we make all of our own spaghetti sauces, but in addition to just the regular, what we call red sauce, we make a marinara sauce, which is this one that has anchovy in it.
Anchovies, oh.
That's the first one. We make that, some crab sauce that we make. We make mushroom sauce, meat sauce, fettuccine alfredo sauce. So all the sauces are homemade. And we still make the cheese raviolis, the meat raviolis, the spaghetti and lasagna. We hand roll each of the sheets, layer it with beer, cheese, and mozzarella, or a bolognese sauce. So, we basically all of our pastas, you know, are still the way they used to be made. They're not. We have a machine for the cheese raviolis now, but the meat raviolis are handmade. The same board my grandmother used to make that I can show you back there.
Hey,
That's unbelievable.
well, you know the old saying,
Yeah.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Hey, amen to that. Here, look at my man going to work right here. Look at that.
What you smashing up, my
Thin,
friend?
right?
Yeah.
Got some good pork.
Wow.
Years ago,
Thin, right?
we used to get the whole leg of meat. There used to be a meat hook there. Sorry. And Yolanda
Yeah.
would butcher it. There would be the spitzad, the veal scallopini, and the veal cutlet. She would trim it all herself.
Right there. Oh my gosh, man.
It's amazing.
It's like some national landmark back
Oh
there.
yeah. The things that you remember. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Because we were talking about Miss Robin, like going in and getting all the orders ready, and everybody seeing the transition. I mean, to run a kitchen's got to be. It's not easy.
There you go. Hold on.
Just do that answer.
Do this again.
Right there.
There you go.
How do you run a kitchen right here, Mr. Robino's?
Well, I do know why women drink wine with every meal.
All right, we're heading back here.
Headed back. Yep.
Well, all the pastas. Wow.
The amount is
Wow.
making our
It just keeps going back there.
Oh.
layering the sheets with our meat sauce.
Hey.
Wow. Look at this lasagna.
And we used to cook one pot at a time for sauce, and now we can do the 7 big ones.
Oh, look at this. Wow.
Because you know when you got busy, it was hard to remember to stir.
Yeah, I was telling her about that.
Coming back in here.
Then we make all the sheets by hand and assemble them, pull them. But over here you can see our meat ravioli board. So this is a story in
With the mic.
itself, right here. This is the original pasta sheeter that my great-grandfather traded for chickens. So we've had this forever.
Really?
Yes, and this is what Guy Fieri was really impressed with, I guess you could say. He said, you know, it's time for us to get a new one, but we really like it. So we hand roll the sheets for the meat raviolis, and it comes down over this board, which we had specially made about 100 years ago, I would say. You know, they hand fill each of these little pockets with the meat, and then cover it again and make the meat ravioli.
Fantastic.
That's unbelievable. To get this look right now and how it goes behind the scenes. It's not easy.
But originally when Tina did it, he didn't have this machine. He customized it. He cut a hole. And you know the cranky machines?
Right.
He hooked up a motor to it with a belt.
Oh, okay.
And that's how she used to do the pasta. She would get the sheets and it would come down there and she would do it.
Wow.
Wow.
But how would he thought
Oh, your Uncle Primo.
No, that was Grandpa.
Oh, okay.
You know the crank spaghetti machine?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, I have one.
Well, he hooked it to a motor, which I just thought was amazing. You know?
Hooked it just like that, just
Oh,
to a
he hooked
motor,
that up to a motor.
pulling
Yes,
that.
and they had a bell. And she
Oh.
was, I mean, it cut a hole here, and she did the spaghetti, she would go like this, but of course, we're modern now.
Gotcha.
Okay? All right?
Right.
That is amazing. So before this, we had automation through ingenuity.
Exactly.
Love it.
Made it a lot easier.
Love
right?
it, love it, love it, love it.
Well, she used to make them by hand, every, like ravioli.
And this is
Wow.
lasagna going in right now.
Yes.
With
It's
the meat sauce.
lasagna with the meat sauce.
Layers on layers.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Hey, good evening. AC Meat is here at Mrs. Robino's, and we're going around talking to some of their longtime patrons, family members, restaurant goers, enjoying all this wonderful Italian food, homemade recipes that have been going on for 80 plus years with this fine establishment. So right now we have some long-time family and friends here today, and we'll get right with the family.
That's it.
We'd like you to introduce yourselves.
I'm Angelina Smith, Robino Smith. I've been here since 1940 when my parents bought it and worked in it and babysat for all the ones that worked. And this is my husband, Robert Smith. He also worked in the restaurant, if he washing the dishes after our dates. And you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, we had our wedding reception in the room next door here.
Yeah,
In the
we did.
original.
Wow. In the original Mr. Rubino.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
The original.
Wow.
And this is your wedding picture right here.
right here.
And right here, if we could zoom in, so this is the wedding picture and eating dinner right here above, weekly
That's it.
and coming in. That's what it's about right there. I mean, what are some of your fondest memories of Mrs. Robino's?
My fondest memories were my mom. She made, no matter if I was going out on a date and the dishwasher didn't come, she would make it nice for me to stay home.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
And let me get Ron. She'd say, Angelina, you know, the dishwasher didn't come in. You've got to work tonight, and even through my tears, I still did it. My mom made everything funny and happy, whether you liked it or not. She was a great woman.
We had a date many nights. I come here, I had to do dishes.
Yeah,
That was the pay.
that was it. He
Right.
would come and he'd help me wash the dishes. And that was before the automatic dishwashers that we couldn't afford at the time. But it was fun, and my mom made everything seem funny and happy. I mean, she was that type of a woman. And my sister Pina, she took right after her.
And
She was great.
During the war, she treated anybody coming over to the soldier cell, she
Oh, yeah.
paid their check.
Oh, that's so
Always-
nice.
She treated soldiers.
How to make sure.
Yeah.
And then they had blackouts where you had to close the restaurant if they had a blackout where they had an air raid. And whoever was out on the streets, they had to come in here.
Somebody in the neighborhood would be the air raid warden.
Oh, wow.
When the sirens went
You
off.
couldn't
grandfather.
you couldn't be on the street and light a cigarette because if it was planes, they could see lit.
How about that?
That's incredible right there.
Yeah, and mom would invite anybody in, and
They closed it
Yeah.
in the city due to the lights. They had to close it.
then they wound up staying overnight.
Yeah, no one left.
Did she cook?
They knew they were.
Did
And
she
Fed
ever,
will probably.
But we had a great big watchdog.
Oh yeah.
Roamed around
did she end
at
up
night.
cooking for them?
There she
Did
comes.
she end up cooking for them?
Give her a
Oh, yeah.
Right here. It said Miss Robin, she's being summoned.
Yes. Well, it's coming here once a week with your family and seeing everybody and you get to relive these memories and everything. How do you think that does for the business and your conversations with the other patrons that come here? Do you get a chance to interact with them?
Yeah, I every once in a while I might know
Share your
somebody.
history.
But we've lived so long, half of them are
I wasn't Italian or Catholic.
Right.
Here we go, bringing in Miss Robin.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I converted when I got married, and to come up here and date her, I was completely out of my neighborhood.
Yeah, but he was a good guy. My father liked him right away,
that's
which is
good.
very unusual.
There you go.
That is
Yeah. No, it's tough, especially in this
They
area.
taught him his trade and everything. Had a good time, didn't you, Pop?
Making that lawn.
Very
I
cool.
worked with her brother for 46 years,
Wow.
Frank Robino.
Frank Robino, yes.
Rubino.
Yeah, there's one of the nicest men you'd ever meet in your life was Frank Robino.
Oh, I can tell you that.
He was a nice man.
Yes. I had the privilege of knowing your brother and Skunk.
Oh, I loved him.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I was always the kid. I was the kid with that
Oh,
group.
yeah. I'm
Yes.
sure you were.
Oh yeah, I was 9 to 12. 'Cause I didn't leave my father's side during that era. And
He used to bootleg, John did. And he would drive to Dover and pick up the whiskey and in a convertible. Made sure he always had a convertible and somebody with him.
Your dad and Robin's dad?
Robin's dad.
And he'd be driving back, he'd be back,
We'll cut that out.
back from Dover, look in the mirror, here come the cops. He said, okay, slide over here and take the wheel. So they had to catch him with one full bottle. He'd get back, sit on the seat, and he would throw the bottles down on the street to flatten their tires.
Oh, man.
They had to catch him with one full bottle. But they got him a ticket for dirty the highway. Yeah.
wow,
my
that's
goodness.
yeah. I remember it was a big deal, man. We used to go up to Mr. Rabino's pool and go swimming. I remember. Oh, that was a
At
big
the pool.
That was,
Oh, I
at
bet
the
that was
pool.
great on a day like
we
today.
Pack up. We get into Galaxy 500. You know. We
That's nice.
get up there and go
Garage on
swimming.
both, doors on both ends of the garage. Yeah, that was nice.
That was
Yeah.
Uncle Frankie's house?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I vaguely remember. I was probably there maybe 3, 4
Yeah,
times.
That was
back in the
every
day.
Sunday, right?
Back
We
in
would
the
go there
day.
every Sunday.
Yeah.
Kids.
Oh, there's his wedding picture, Frank.
Wedding picture right there.
Over.
Wow.
Right over there.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Over here.
That one.
That's right.
The one on the end.
And how long have you been married?
We've been married 74 years.
Oh my gosh.
74. Oh, my
4
God.
years. Right here.
Still
Mrs.
smiling.
Martinez.
Wow.
That's a couple of them were happy.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, we won't take up any more of your time, but thank you for sharing all your stories. And we know what you're going to say about everything in the establishment. Egg number 1.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely. The best.
Oh, thank you so
Wow.
much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much
Nice to
for your
meet you.
time. Absolutely.
And,
These are the best, these
Oh, no
two.
Oh, yeah. And over years, 80 plus years, the restaurant's been staying at. You don't see that anymore.
No.
Anymore.
I've been coming here since this place first opened with my father, but that high.
Wow. Wow. So your whole life you've been able to come here and
I was a little bigger now, but
yeah, right. Still,
93
Sit-
and 90
since you can remember.
for a while.
Yeah. No, the tradition that goes on for sure, for sure. Trying to think what else.
Yeah, we used to take all the kids upstairs. I'd have it full. We have a big family.
Really?
And the kids like this, and she remembers everything.
Wow.
We gave her a birthday for her here.
That's incredible. Because I was gonna say, is there more to the families, or usually you three just enjoying dinner? Where's the rest?
We're 3 peas in a pod. We go everywhere together.
Do you really?
But
That's so cool.
awesome. That's awesome.
That's so
They're my
cool.
Our
favorite.
granddaughter who takes care of us now.
Yes.
Wow.
I used to take care of her when she was a baby.
Wow.
How
What
about
I
that?
I have her.
come here,
Yeah, you've been coming here since it's
Since he was open,
Since
Miss
it's
Sue.
open, right here.
Yeah.
Yes, and you just heard it. They took care of their granddaughter. Now the granddaughter's taking care of them. And what do you think they're doing? Celebrating some
Still
great
here.
food. Now, what's some of your favorite meals you like to order through the years? Or
Well, I love the chicken farm
Me too.
and the eggplant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the eggplant.
Oh,
Can't go wrong with chicken parm.
Wedding soup.
Wedding soup, huh?
The wedding soup.
That's what I come for.
And what do you have tonight?
I have chicken parm Alfredo.
Alfredo. Wow. Man, that looks delicious.
Yeah. I know. I'm ready to dive in too.
I'm ready.
I
Don't
know.
turn your head too fast.
When
Yeah.
I don't feel good,
Yep.
comes up here and gets me wedding soup.
Wow.
Nice.
Just a great husband, man. Always looking out.
I used to like that meat sauce they had.
Bolognese?
Pardon?
The bolognese sauce, the meat sauce?
No,
with the
no, it was, it had all kinds of chicken and everything. I can't
Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. And going here. And that was my next question. When you go into Mr. Robino's and you see people you see and you're enjoying dinner, I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Right.
The family atmosphere, the camaraderie,
Exactly.
My
and the
daughter
pictures.
comes all the way up from Rehoboth to have a meal.
Oh, wow. Wow. Traveling that far just for a meal and everything and good company. Because you see the pictures on the walls too. I mean, all the wedding photos, the history of Mr. Robino's, the patrons. It really.
The family, the brothers, they became builders, huge builders, business, food. They had it all incorporated, you know?
Oh, yeah.
The home, the hotel, and the food to go with everything. That's always a winning combination. You gotta have a place to go to eat.
Now, has this place changed at all since you guys started coming here? Has this place changed at all since you guys been coming? And they kept it.
Music.
Keeps growing.
Just keeps right.
Look, there's people coming through. Look, they're
Melina,
storming
look.
Union.
They're storming.
They're storming Union Street.
They're here. They got to get their meals in.
Union Street. They're coming in. They're coming in from Bloomsburg University.
That's it.
They're coming in from Bloomsburg.
They said, yo, Mr. Robino's with AC Media. They said, get the camera time. Get the camera time.
They know how to bring them in here.
Tables
The 2 tables.
back there.
Wow. And now they're 4 buildings deep. You hear that, Victor?
Yeah.
2 tables started at, and now 4 tables, man.
Father used to
Wow.
That's right. All right, so AC Media is back. We're here celebrating Jillian and Olivia's 25th birthday party, twins. We're going to be asking around what they're drinking, what they're eating, and we're in the back room. This is where all the big parties happen.
I have been coming here with my family for about 25 years. Probably came here when my mom was pregnant with me, so even more than 25. I'm vegan, and this is the only place that caters to me. They have an entire vegan menu. And
Damn.
and it matches my clothes. And they handpick vegan wines every month for me, so I get to try new vegan wines. So I literally love it here. What's your favorite vegan dish? The lasagna. Absolutely lasagna. Big chunk of lasagna. It's delicious.
And when we were back there, they were showing us all how they make the different lasagnas and raviolis, and they still have the same cutout boards that they started with, that Mrs. Robino started with back when she opened up the business after feeding the folks from where she lived at. And that's how they came here. And it's amazing. It's a great story, great family. And while everybody, because they lived actually on Holland Street. So now this was Mr. Petnero's house where he grew up, this building right here. The other addition was where my father's social club was. And he was good friends with Mr. Minuti, and they acquired that building when they sold it. And then there was the other dining room where they acquired, and then the original was where the bar's at and everything. That was only 2 tables. When they started, Mrs. Robino only had 2 tables, and it grew to this. And then, you know, her brothers were famous, or sons, famous builders. The Robino family. Yeah, Frank Robino built a lot of buildings, especially, you ever hear of the Carousel in Ocean City, Maryland? Yep. That was a Robino project. One of the big builders in there was the Carousel, was the Robino Lad project. Yes, years ago, in the 70s. So let's go around the table and hear about some other people's favorite dishes and how long you guys all been coming here, and what brings you to why did you select Mrs. Robino's for your celebration of 25th birthday?
Oh, it was purely because I wanted my vegan lasagna.
You wanted your vegan lasagna?
I wanted to be able to eat.
There it is.
Birthday dinner. This is the only place I could find.
Well, that's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
She comes here at least once every 2 weeks. Yes, I do. It's a problem.
Wow.
Now we'll introduce everybody going around the table.
Yeah.
Do I just talk into it?
Yeah, just
Okay.
talking to it. Yep, be yourself. Yes.
I'm Jillian. Hello. I've also been coming here my whole life. I guess my favorite platters are the bruschetta for an appetizer, and then the porchetta platter is really, really good. And then just the classic homemade spaghetti and the red sauce is my favorite that I've ever had. And I always get a glass of wine. Very good.
That's awesome.
That's it right there. Can't go wrong.
All right, my name is Sam. I've been coming here for a couple years. The last time I came was with them, since they're addicted. My favorite meal would be the cheese raviolis. I wanted to switch it up, but I just can't, so I'm getting that again today.
That's all.
I'm the senior of the group, I believe. My name is Ed, and my favorite has always been the veal dishes, even though veal got expensive and we had to move down to chicken. But nonetheless.
That's right. You gotta do. I like it. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Having a sale today, Dad.
Okay. And this is my wife, Sandy.
Hi. I am, of course, his wife. Sorry. And we've been here many times, but not like the girls. We like to sample different places. Today, I decided to pick the porchetta, and I'll take their recommendation.
Very good recommendation, I promise.
Can't go wrong with the porchetta.
No, it's so good.
Yeah. Oh.
Hi, my name's Kim. I'm the aunt to these beautiful girls. And I've been coming here for, I don't know, somewhere in the 40 years,
Wow.
I guess, range. Not as frequently as I would like, but we were just here for pre-show downtown, so it's a good spot for that.
Yeah.
And I love the red sauce, and of course you have to have the red wine to go with that. So
Absolutely.
never disappoints.
No, that's a great combo. Great combo.
My name is Randy. I'm twins' father. I've been coming here for 35 years or so, and we love it here. It's a nice, homey atmosphere, and the food is great and homemade. I like the broccoli rabe and the pasta with garlic and oil, and other people don't like it, but it's the best.
Throw some anchovies in there.
There you go.
Throw some anchovies in there. A little Lucatelli with it. You'll be popping.
And I'd just like to say happy birthday to my lovely daughters, and pass it on to my niece.
I don't really have much to say because I've never been here before, but I hope it's great.
First time. There you go. We're going to have to get an aftertaste.
My name's Joy, and I'm aunt to these two beautiful girls, and we've been coming almost 40 years. It's always good. Everything's good.
My name's Greg. I'm the uncle. We're brothers and sisters here. I probably 40 years as well. I usually get the spaghetti and meatballs. I like the red sauce, but today I'm going to switch it up and go with penne and Alfredo sauce.
There we go.
There it is.
All right.
That's a win choice right there.
That's awesome.
There it is.
So how long, is this your first big party here at Mrs. Robino's, or do you do other big parties?
I've been to a few. Yeah, our family gathers here. So
That's awesome. So you know right here, you know where there's good food, you know where you can, have a great time, bring others, you're someone here first time here, and enjoying good food and looking for some good eats. So you want to get a happy birthday in before we go?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yo, first ever AC Media happy birthday.
It's the first time ever.
Let's do it.
You lead it.
All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julia. Happy Happy birthday to you. Let's go. First time ever. Unbelievable.
All right, well, enjoy your meal. Thank you for sharing.
Unbelievable.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Good afternoon. We're here. AC Media is concluding our third episode here at Mrs. Robino's restaurant with a luncheon that's been going on for 40 plus years, the Wednesday during Festival Week up at St. Anthony's of Padua. And these gentlemen meet here at Mrs. Robino's, and we're going to start off with this beautiful antipasta that Andrea made for us, for the fellas that come here. Look how beautiful that is. It is absolutely, and she did this all herself this morning. So, got to give her big kudos. Everything's first class as Mrs. Robino's from 1940 to 2024 right here, the Wednesday of Festival Week, June 12th. So, God bless everybody. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to give a little sample, and you know right what I'm going for, Victor. I'm going right for the pepper. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? Are you kidding me? Forget about it. Forget about it. Here we go. Here we go. Toot the bone. Beautiful. Filming. We got the microphone. We'll just go around the table, look into the camera, say what you like about this beautiful day, and we'll start off with this gentleman right here. Joe.
Well, Mike, it's just great to be alive. I never thought I'd live this long. I'm 85. It's great to be with some of the old timers.
Yeah.
And looking forward to it. It's always an event for the last, I've been the attender for like 3 years, so I look forward to this event.
Awesome, man. So Joe told me a great story about my father. So Joe is a retired liquor distributor, salesperson, and one night he went around, my dad asked him if he could go around when he went around to the nightclubs and everything, and they all had a great time and stuff like that. So Pope, I know you always love to have fun, and it's great to hear these stories about everybody meeting and stuff like this. And you know, my family runs deep in Little Italy, the Annones with
Paul's son.
Paul, yeah, that's my father.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's what's so special about this.
That's what's special.
The Pope is my father. Was my father. God bless him. Rest in peace.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Your grandpa. Well, anyway,
yes.
I grew up right around the corner.
Okay.
My backyard actually came into Robino's backyard.
All right.
Yes, so it gives you a chance to meet with folks that you really care about, and they're past just friendship. It's our family.
Beautiful, beautiful. And your name, sir?
Anthony.
Anthony.
Yes.
All right, Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. All right, we'll go right here, and we'll zigzag across the table.
Well, I've been out of town so long from this crowd. This has been a great thing for me when I moved back into town. And these guys are a history book of Little Italy, which I love, and that's why I pick their brains all the time at this event. And my cousin Anthony's probably the best when it comes to the history book session.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's also fun to be alongside this great high school quarterback here.
Oh, man, we're going to talk some sports here. I like it. And your name, sir?
John Bove.
John Bove. Okay, we got John. We'll pass it to the quarterback.
My name's Mike DeLose, and I, like John, have been out of town for quite a while. Just moved back to Wilmington last September, having been down in Rehoboth for 28 years and all over the country prior to that. But it's great. I think a great get-together from these people. We remember a lot of faces and names. My grandparents lived at 518 North Lincoln, one block over, so I was familiar with the area, obviously, growing up. But my only suggestion is, instead of having this once a year, let's do it every 6 months.
There you go. Now, let's hear a little bit about your high school career or college career.
Went to both Wilmington high schools, the original one downtown, then the second graduating class at the one on Lancaster Avenue. Went from there to Wesley College, played football at Wesley College when it was a 2-year college, and played there and then transferred to the University of Delaware, graduated from there. Went in the FBI, did 25 years in the FBI, then had a private investigative business for 20 years and just shut that down a couple years ago.
Oh, wow, outstanding. Very nice.
He's being a little humble because they're the only Wilmington high school football team that was undefeated in history.
Really? Wow. What was your position?
Quarterback.
Quarterback. See, I got it right. I knew you were the quarterback. See, I just wanted to confirm that. I knew.
And I used to argue with my father, who played for Wilmington High School too. He used to say his team was undefeated. So you were undefeated, but in the city they played Chester High and he got beat 6-0 by Chester. So you weren't undefeated. We were undefeated. So we had that ongoing argument for years.
Wow. Now, I don't know if you were going to school with my cousin, Arthur. I always called him Uncle because he was so older. Arthur was a banker in the area. He graduated Wilmington High School and was the founder of the Wilmington Little League team down in the city, 18th and Van Buren. He founded that Little League. And he's up there in the plaque, the hall plaque in the history, and he's in there for other things in banking, but that would he founded Wilmington Ophthalmology League for Little League baseball. Yeah, so, all right, well, let's pass the mic over here. And we got Mike.
Hi, my name's Joe Iori, and I was born and raised in the area, and I've been coming to Mrs. Robino's now since 1950s, and I get the same order all the time: large cheese ravioli, no meatballs, extra bread. Just love it. But no, it's great to see all the old friends, and they don't change. It's just like you revert back to when you were a kid. And I went to Salesianum, University of Delaware, and I was a banker, and then with DuPont. Now I'm retired and play a lot of golf.
You play a lot of golf?
Oh yeah.
We got to get together and play some golf.
I would like that. I belong to Wilmington Country Club, and you're always welcome to join me.
Man, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's outstanding.
And so does Mike. We play all the time.
We haven't beaten because he's not very good.
Oh man,
that's true.
I'll take you up on that offer. I sincerely appreciate it.
Okay, you're on.
Yeah, man. Thank you. All right.
Hello, my name is Bob Harrington. I moved out of the city of Wilmington in 1948 and moved into 400 South Lincoln Street, right down the road. I was introduced to the Italian way of life with Lou Marconi, which they had a restaurant down on Lancaster Avenue and Lancaster and Lincoln, and Jimmy Mara, and we went to school together. And then ultimately I met Anthony Cherico and everybody else, and it's been a wild ride. Every once in a while I try to sing in Italian.
Hey, ladies, cats here. How we doing? How you doing?
Hello. Gentlemen. Before we go,
all right, guys, we're going to have Andy Pasta. Yeah, we're going to put this gentleman right now. All right, here we go. We already got him. I thought we already got. Yes. Good. We're going to sit down at this other table right now, Victor, and we got some fine gentlemen here that are going to introduce themselves, talk about this beautiful occasion, and anything else they like to talk about. So we're going to start off with you, sir. What's your name?
Walt Webb.
Walt. Hey, Walt, how long have you been coming to the luncheon?
Since they had it.
Since they started? So
yeah,
we're what,
my brother's there. He runs it. He invites everybody. James.
Oh, James, okay. James runs it. All right.
Well, he gets the people to come. He asks everybody.
Awesome. Okay, so you've been coming from the start.
Yeah.
And now, do you go up to the festival during the weekdays, or?
Once in a while I go. I haven't been there yet.
Okay, all right. So we'll head down to this gentleman right here. Victor, here we go. Pass the mic down. There we go.
Hi, my name's Mario Capano. I started here 3 years ago, and I was born a couple blocks from here.
Mario, hold on. Are you Mario from the Capano from Cleveland Heights?
Yeah.
Hold on, Victor, get this. I'm Mike Annone. We grew up in Cleveland Heights. I live next to the Connors.
Yeah, I know exactly where you live.
Mike Connors is one of my dearest friends. How about that? So he's good friends with you, Frankie.
Small world.
Small world, man. Small world. So we have Mr. Capano, we got Mr. Petnero coming in. All right, very good. We got this gentleman right here. Yes, let's pass the mic right there to your right. There you go, sir. Awesome. Hey, Mike, how'd everything go?
Hi, I'm Jimmy Snodowski. I'm Mario Capano's brother-in-law. My first time here. Tony Barry was supposed to come with us, never made it. I hope I enjoy myself. I'm sure I will.
Man, you can see everybody having a great time, enjoying great food. You cannot beat this right now. I mean, the memories and the opportunities that came up from this room, just from a younger generation and a younger guy, is very special to me. And to see this, I learned a lot from these older gentlemen, and see what the future holds, man, because they paved the way for guys like me, and I'll always be grateful for the opportunities that we get because of these people in this room. I'm with Greg Pettinera right here. Greg said he grew up in this house. Now it's Mrs. Robino's. What was it like coming back and knowing that you grew up here?
Well, actually, I was born here. I left here when I was about 5, but my grandmother lived here, and my father grew up here with all his sisters and brother, and we actually lived in the apartment upstairs when I was first born. So come back here for years going to Robino's has always been great, but then when they actually converted it and sold it to them, it's kind of strange walking in. They used to have the kitchen back there that they still have the countertop from the old days, but I remember spending a lot of time here with my grandmother, so it's kind of neat, coming back.
Well, I was going to ask you, walking back in here, you just relive the memories every time.
Exactly. Every time I go in there and see that kitchen in there, it just kind of brings back memories.
Did you ever think Mr. Robino's would expand and get to this spot?
I mean, they were next door for all those years. I mean, they took one store, and then it made more sense when my grandmother passed to sell them this, because then they could expand into it. But I'm glad to see they're using it. It's still part of the old neighborhood.
Excellent, Greg. I thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. What's up, guys? Mike Annone Jr. I'm with Mr. Catalina. The field name Capital Little League. One of the best little leagues in this state is named after him right here. What has been the history with you and Capital Little League?
Say again?
What has been you and the history with Capital Little League, just so our viewers can understand?
I don't know, to tell you the truth. I'm at a loss for words.
How far back does Capital Little League and you go?
Quite a ways. In fact, I'd have to stop and think about how far back we went. I don't know, 50 years or so.
50. Now, when was the field named after you?
After I retired, I had a boy who was on my team. I actually ended up being president of the leagues a short time later, and he came up with the idea of naming the field after me.
Wow, because over the years, I mean, I played on that field. It's always been beautifully kept. Now, who did the grading and the maintenance on the field?
Yeah, a friend of mine from Gregor and Farrar, Nicky Farrar, was the one who came in and leveled the field out. The field actually was in the same as Newport Gap Pike. It sort of like ran from the top of the hill to the bottom of the railroad tracks. And I got him to come in and level out the field, and we had a pretty nice field after that. Thanks to Nick Farrar.
Wow, man, that's amazing, because you guys had the lights too, so you guys had night games, all sorts of things. It seems like a great spot to play a baseball game and watch.
Yeah, everything turned out good after that. We had lights down there and ample parking for everybody, so it really turned out to be a good thing.
That's amazing. And the great all-star teams that came through Capital, what was like some of your best memories?
Some of my best memories, I think, were when we went up to Chester and won a couple of tournaments up there.
Wow, man. You guys always had competitive teams. I mean, Mr. Catalina, it's been an honor to meet you, and thank you for all that you did for Capital.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Awesome, man. Wow. So how many years you guys been doing this event now, this luncheon?
This is our third year.
Third year, and now is it always during the Italian Festival, or is it all?
Yeah, always the week of the Italian Festival, and we do one in December.
Wow, so a couple times a year. Now, how tough is it getting everybody on the same page and getting everybody together? Is everybody just jump in?
4 or 5 of us like to have a committee, and we call everybody up from there.
Wow, so you got a beautiful day out here, man.
Pass the word around that way.
Yep, absolutely. It seems like everybody's showing up and talking to old memories, man.
Oh, yeah.
What's been the best part of these events?
Well, just seeing everybody, that's the best part.
Right, absolutely. Thank you, Joe. This is awesome. Appreciate the help. Yes, sir.
Whoa, here we go. go. Everybody raise your glasses. This concludes our episodes of Delaware Finest AC Media podcast with all you fine gentlemen that be coming here to Mrs. Robino's, a great family establishment with great family history in one of the greatest neighborhoods of America. Let's go!
Hey.
Thank you for your time. Enjoy everything. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Dude, this is unbelievable. You see the energy right here. It's coming back, man. Little Italy, Wilmington, Delaware on the map. Let's go.